Okay. So I am Alyssa Bakanawa. I'm between 21 and 25. My most common breakfast is French toast with syrup. I like to either make it or I like the frozen stuff too. It doesn't matter to me. I work thirds, so my breakfast time is usually, probably around maybe 6 p.m. or like 4 to 6 p.m. around then because I go to sleep right after work. My most common dinner, uh, generally stir fry, chicken with vegetables, or um, buying those little mini steaks from Quick Star and cutting those up and serving those with vegetables also. I tend to like Chinese food. And I normally eat that right after I get off work, so probably around like 6:30 to 7 a.m. in the morning. My common go-to snack is Cool Ranch Doritos. I eat them entirely too much. Probably like 3 to 4 days out of the week, I will go and buy them, or not go and buy, but I'll buy them and I'll eat them. Definitely not the healthiest thing, but it's something that's my favorite snack. And is there a difference between love and sex? I feel that there can be love without sex. They are two different kinds of connections to me. Love is more emotional. Love can exist without having sex. It's not exactly a requirement. You can be happy without it. For sex, I feel it's more of a physical thing. Yes, sex is great and it can produce feelings of uplifting and raise your spirits and raise your confidence in yourself and like self-esteem. It's just I don't feel it's a necessity. And for the next question, are love and sex important parts of being fully healthy? Love is something that I find very important to have. Love is something that you need, whether it be a friend, family member, a significant other. You need some form of love, or even animal, actually. Like, you just need something that you feel is going to support you, it's going to make you happy, it's something that's there. For sex, I don't believe that it's entirely necessary to be fully happy. Yes, there are some people that need sex to make their life feel wonderful. There are people that don't need sex, though, to have a wonderful and fulfilling life. It's entirely on the person that, I believe it's entirely on the person that you are. I don't think it's something that's absolutely necessary, but that's for me. For others, that might be entirely different. Then for what age range do you find defined as babies? I'd say between 0 to 3 years old. Generally around that time. For me, you're kind of potato shape-ish. You don't really have that many characteristics at all for that. But you entirely rely on somebody else to take care of you. You can't really do anything for yourself yet. That's why I say between 0 and 3 and not just like 0 and 2 and such. Because, yeah, that kid might be a toddler defined as, but they still entirely rely on you. Once it hits about like 4 years old, they can start doing a few things on their own. But generally, they still do need you to take care of them. It's just a little bit different. What age range do I define as young? I guess the 4 to 20 range for me. Very impulsive, don't know full implications of their actions, and they require a lot of guidance. They don't know exactly what they're doing yet. Not to say that this doesn't expand beyond this range, just that that's generally what I view as young. Stat nemesis. What age range is middle age? I'd say between 35 and 45. That's right around the age where people either feel like they're doing great in life, that they've got something fulfilling, that they've done what they can, or they're struggling, they're having a midlife crisis, they're not sure what to do, they don't know if they want to go on another path. Generally, they're older, but they can also still not know what they're doing either. And then for age range fold, between 70 and 80, they're generally at the end of their life. There's different age ranges for that. Some can be entirely healthy when they're that age, and some cannot be. Some might need more assistance. They may forget things more often. Some may be wise. But I always go with the phrase that stupid people get old also. So that's not entirely the case. But for the older adults that I know in my life, they do have a lot more experience to understand what they're saying. And for my goals, within the next month, I honestly just want to feel healthy enough that I can go to all my scheduled days at work. I haven't exactly had the greatest health history, and with COVID, it's not exactly helping with that. For my next year. My next year, I want to have my associate's degree finished. I'm supposed to hopefully be graduating December of 2021, and I'm hoping in October I have a goal to maybe move to North Carolina. I really just want to move down there before the cold hits. I do not like the Iowa cold. It's just too cold for me. Within the next 4 years, I'm hoping I could be finished with my master's degree. I'm going to school for forensic psychology. Right now my major is showing social work, but I'm actually working on getting that changed. But yeah, I want to go for my master's, and then after that I plan to go for my doctorate so I could actually get into the career that I want. It's a lot of schooling, it's a lot of commitment, but it's something I can feel that I can do, and it's a job that honestly I would love. Okay, and then I'd also like to just be in a happier place. Right now with COVID and everything, things just aren't exactly going the greatest. So yeah, there's just a lot of struggling with that, and I just hope that within the next 4 years, or within 4 years, I'm just in a better spot. If I could go back and give myself advice 5-10 years ago, it would be to focus on my education. Get out of that relationship that you are in that you think is amazing. It's not. It will end. And you'll realize that you should have been focusing on you for a while now. It ruins a lot of what you had planned. You stop going to college. You have problems finding jobs. You don't travel. You don't get to do the things that you wanted to do. So travel, don't be compliant in a bad spot, and do what you want to do, not what you feel others would want you to do, and not what others want to do every single time. And for my list, my first thing is my physical and mental health. As I stated, it's number one for me because at this point in time, I don't exactly have the greatest of either of those. I'm hoping that by focusing on them and trying to change that it will help change other aspects of my life so that they're better. My next is money and finances, because due to not having that great of health, it affects me more with my jobs. And it's hard to explain your days off when it's an illness that you have that's chronic, that you can't get rid of, but you also don't want to go on disability. And it's hard to find any job that would understand that. So generally, people who don't have the greatest health but still try to stay in the workforce have to go through a lot of different jobs. My next one is my education. Obviously, I want to focus on my college also. The other two are very important for me doing that, though, because I need to be able to afford internet. I need to be able to afford college. But I am focusing on my education since I'm able to afford those. I want to go all the way to getting a doctorate in forensic science. I want to become a forensic scientist, or forensic psychologist, and I want to focus on doing that kind of stuff because I absolutely love true crime shows. I love the aspect of the human mind. I like knowing why we do the things that we do. The next one is my career. Obviously, by going to school and getting my education and going on to get my doctorate in this, I want to be able to have that as my career. I want to be able to have some aspect of that career. I want to be in that career path. But to do that, I have to go through the schooling first. And then fifth is my family of origin, I guess. My parents, my siblings, they're all very important to me. I view family as being very important. But I need to focus on me first before I'm able to exactly be the full person and be the person that's able to give as much support as they possibly can to my family members. So for that to happen, I need me to be happy and healthy. I need to have my job that I want, and then it will spread out to other people as well. 6 is hobbies. I mean, obviously everyone has their hobbies. I can go without doing my hobbies, though, so that I can have a better chance at the life that I want. So right now, hobbies aren't exactly priority on me. I still do some of them, obviously, but others right now I just can't feasibly do. Like horseback riding. Horseback riding is a hobby that I'd love to do. It's just an expensive hobby. Right now with COVID, it requires having another person there. And it also requires me to be healthy and to actually be able to essentially give the horse commands. So right now hobbies just aren't exactly a huge importance on my list. Next one is religion. I don't exactly follow the religions that everyone else does. I'm more into paganism. I like older gods. I like Nordic and like Greek gods. Do I know exactly which one I want to follow? No. And I am a fan of, I guess, the kind of witchcraft. I just think that there is possibility to have more energy inflicted onto your life to be more positive. Whether that's placebo, whether it actually works, it works in some aspects, I feel. So whether that's agreed with or not, that's just my philosophy on it. Major love relationship. As I've stated, for my advice to myself, I was in a major relationship. I was with them for 10 years, and actually no, 8 years, sorry. And that didn't end up well. I completely forgot to focus on myself. I let my aspects and dreams and all that on hold for someone who didn't exactly appreciate it. So major love relationship is not a huge goal for me. Yes, I would like to have that in the future. Right now, though, it's not a necessity. It's not something that I need. It's not something I essentially care about. And I guess family created, if we're talking about kids and such, I don't have kids. If we're talking about animals, I guess this might actually be moved up more in my list than it is, because my animals are a huge part of my life. I would never imagine going anywhere without them. The longest I've actually been away from my animals before is only about a month. They help keep me sane. I realize that I have other beings to take care of, and they love me unconditionally. So if that's the kind of family created we are talking about, then yeah, they'd probably be up higher on my list. But if we're talking about actual kids or anything like that, it's not a priority. I love kids. I would hopefully one day want to foster and adopt and such. Just having kids isn't exactly top of my list. And I guess with for closing and finding new thoughts and ideas on this and creating this video. I realize that my age ranges are kind of interesting. Whenever I think of young, I always think, the 3 to 20 range or somewhere in there, because you're to a kid, like a toddler, almost after toddler stage, to supposedly an adult because you're over 18. But you don't know what you're doing at that age. Heck, I guess maybe I could even extend my young category to longer. It's just, I'm only 23 as it is now. I said between 21 and 25. I guess I don't care if you know, but I am 23. So I haven't lived exactly long enough to view young as a longer age group, because I don't exactly feel young, but I know I am. In other people's category, I would still be considered young. For middle age, I base that off my parents. That's because that's currently the age they are going on. But that generally is actually around the age range that middle age would be. And for old, I mean, the same thing's true. They might have 10 years left, they might have less. This has made me reflect and think a lot on what I view. It also makes me realize how there can be different stages of how people are living. Generally, I think that people who are older than me would probably have first shift jobs, so they'd probably be eating things at different times, kind of like how my mother is. But they could be in the same boat as I am, because I know I work with many different age ranges. It just gives you a different perspective in viewing things, and it is very intriguing to find out. I don't know if anyone else is going to see this besides teacher, but to find out how other people live. So, thank you.